We joined the 1st Separate Assault Regiment to film this exclusive look into modern trench warfare, raw, unfiltered, and as real as it gets. Because today's war isn't just drones and satellites. It's still fought in the dirt, in narrow trenches, in silence broken by sudden blasts, in the kind of places where survival means digging, hiding, and holding your breath. The most important thing, once you're there in position, you can't pull back, and you can't just stand still. You have to keep moving forward. Imagine this. Everything around you is whistling, flying, trying to kill you, and the only thing keeping you alive is a hole in the ground. For infantry in the Russia-Ukraine war, that's just another day. Out here, the smallest detail can mean the difference between being alive and not. So, what's it like to fight the enemy in trenches? What do you need to learn? And what can't be taught at all? Let's hear it straight from the soldiers of the 1st Separate Assault Regiment. If someone asked you, what's the most important piece of gear for an infantryman? What would you say? A rifle? Maybe. A medical kit? Hopefully, you won't need to open it. A body armor? Sure, but there's one tool that kind of ties everything together. A shovel. Like our regimental commander used to say, you could write the word life on a shovel and never go anywhere without it. That shovel might be the reason a bullet doesn't make it to your vest and why your medkit stays sealed. In trench warfare, it's absolutely critical to just grab a shovel and keep digging. Don't stop. Not everyone gets that. So for a smart soldier, a good shovel is where real war begins. We use fiskars, about 80 centimeters long, super lightweight. It's reliable. You can sharpen it and use it to chop or dig. You don't need an axe or a saw. Obviously, if you want to talk about trench warfare, you need trenches. Sometimes, machines help dig them, but when that's not an option, it all falls on the soldier's back. Digging is hard. The ground can be all kinds, sandy, clay, rocky, but you can dig anywhere, and you have to. We've got this guy, Pisha, a real pro. He can somehow dig even in concrete. That's what we're doing now with the guys prepping for their first combat mission. We're teaching them how to dig two-man fighting positions, wells, foxholes, and trenches. And the one doing the teaching? That same guy, Pisha. We explain to our guys why the trenches are shaped a certain way, why they curve like that. It's so, if you're under fire or hit by shrapnel, you've got cover. And so we can fight back effectively. All those angles, they're not just for show. They're what keeps our brothers alive. To feel safer in the trenches, soldiers also dig what's called foxholes. These are quick-dug burrows for instant cover. If a drone drops a munition, the soldier can dive into the ground. It's designed for an average-sized person, dug about 10 centimeters below trench level to avoid shrapnel. The soldier hides inside. By 2025 standards, a burrow like this isn't nearly as effective as it was 2 years ago, but it's still better than nothing. Active aerial recon, FPVs, and large bomb drops mean infantry needs full ground-level protection these days. This here's a training firing position with an overhead cover. The war we're fighting now, drones cause a lot of damage. If we want soldiers to stay in the fight, they need protection. So no dropped grenade gets in, and they can keep defending their country. To protect troops from air threats, trench pathways are often completely roofed over now. That cuts visibility for enemy drones and helps reduce FPV damage. But the real deal? That's fortified shelters inside buildings. This here is our training hut. Our infantry train to dig bunkers and fighting positions right inside. So if the ceiling collapses, it doesn't crush the soldier. There's still room to move. That's why we build tunnels under the walls, with backup exits. This design comes straight from Frontline experience. These setups are used in urban areas right on the contact line. I personally had to build these kinds of bunkers during combat, and even had to fight from inside one. This is a far cry from the war you see in movies. When you're in one of these houses during a fight, you see everything through a firing slit. You get the azimuth over the radio, and that's the direction you fire. This is the slit, and over here's the backup exit. If the main one gets buried, you toss these bags and crawl out through the tunnel. But the enemy's not just sitting still either. Russians have gotten good at digging, and their fortified positions can look like full-on underground cities. Our enemy's good at digging. We've seen it firsthand when we've taken over their positions. They've got solid setups. So step one is complete. Defensive cover's ready. We're relatively safe. But that's just the beginning of preparation. Give this video a like, it tells YouTube it's worth showing to more people. Getting ready for trench combat is tough. It takes weeks of soldier training. Task number 1 in trench warfare? Just reaching the trench. Sounds simple, but that's only at first glance. When you're defending your own positions, drones are the biggest danger. But assaulting enemy trenches? That's an entirely different beast. Training covers a list of skills. Without them, your odds of success drop fast.
Передвижение.
You need to move right. No Krupiva, that's our digital map. And you'll need your gut. You go in, hit hard, chuck some grenades, and take the spot. Or you just sit there like they used to. But war always throws the unexpected at you.
Такі ситуації, які не можна продумати.
There are things you just can't train for. A mine might drop nearby, or a drone falls out of the sky. That's not the soldier's fault. So, the time has come for a real combat mission. What does an assault trooper need to bring?
Вообще буде замечательно. Вот.
A well-prepped assault soldier carries a standard issue rifle, at least 10 mags. 3 here, 3 here, 2 here, and here, and at least 8 to 10 grenades. Each mission needs its own approach. In a defensive fight, you're holding the line. The enemy's pushing with drones and artillery, while infantry tries to get close to your position. And attacking enemy trenches is no easier. Drones are the main problem. Their job is to spot us and give us away. In any trench battle, the most important weapon is still your firearm. We could honestly make a whole separate video just about trench guns. The variety is massive. Tell us in the comments if you'd like to see that.
Зброя в окопах може бути люба.
Trench weapons can be anything. Long, short, even if it's long, you can still work with it. You just gotta know how to hold it right and operate from any angle. People say Kalashnikov's better, or 5.56 is better. It's all nonsense. A soldier needs to be able to fight with whatever he's got. Your rifle can save your life. That's why infantry treat their guns with serious respect. A gunfight in the trenches is the most intense part of the job. And everyone's got their own story.
Я брав участь і в
I've been in both defensive fights and assaults. Our storming ops went well. I'm still sitting here with you, right? But near Tabaivka, I got wounded. Still made it back to the line.
У мене от був опит, що ми заходили.
One time, we were clearing a trench. Full-on assault. We stormed in, spraying and tossing grenades. My buddy was first in. He died in the firefight. I took a bullet in the leg from a Russian. No idea how I hit the ground, but I slapped on a tourniquet, and my M4 jammed. I've never cleared a jam that fast, not even on the range. By the way, trenches aren't just about shooting. Grenades are key. They're your all-purpose tool, offense or defense.
Потому що лишні гранати.
You can never have too many grenades. When the enemy's charging, you throw them, shoot, radio in. What's the enemy's position? They say azimuth 130. You go to work, chuck grenades, enemy neutralized. So it's comms, weapon handling, grenades, and done. A grenade in the right spot can be more effective than hours of firefights. The only things that might save you are a trench turn or one of those burrows. You've probably seen the videos. A well-timed grenade changes the whole course of the fight. That's why infantry pack as many as they can carry. But the real king of the trenches? That's the machine gun. It's bulky, hard to carry in, and makes you a juicy target. But once it starts firing, the enemy shuts up, sometimes for good.
Якщо у тебе на позиції в окопі
If
є
you've got a machine gun on your position, that's huge. We try to bring one to every spot. It's the kind of thing that sends panic through the enemy with just one sound. We've got American M249s, and every guy knows how to use one. It's super important that infantry can shoot any weapon, rifles, machine guns, grenade launchers, even a Browning. That's how you grow as a fighter. The more you shoot, the more you get into it. Out here in the trenches, there's all kinds of weapons. Sometimes guys from other units leave stuff behind. You gotta know how to use it. Your subscription tells YouTube our channel's worth watching. Tap that button to support us. Getting a machine gun to the front line these days isn't easy. Logistics are a mess, and even just rotating the guys on positions takes longer now. No one's shocked anymore by spending a whole month straight in the trenches. That kind of endurance breaks even the toughest. To make supply runs safer and protect infantry from drones, one of the most valuable tools has become trench-deployed electronic warfare systems.
основна часть, скажімо так,
In the Ukrainian army right now, most injuries and deaths are from enemy drones. That's the reality. We've got personal jammers, like little backpacks with a button. When you hear an enemy drone overhead, you press it, and a dome forms over you that won't let a Mavic get close.
Є реби окопні, там омніки, шмомніки, ще там.
There are also trench jammers, Omni or something like it. You plant it in your trench, and it makes a dome around you too. But the enemy has drones with fiber optic azimuth links, and jammers don't work on those. That's when we switch to using 12-gauge shotguns. All these systems need power, and getting fuel for generators or even just charging batteries is a whole new problem. One creative fix? Agricultural drones. Big ones. Drones that can lift tens of kilos. They've basically become airborne supply trucks, and might soon replace ground delivery altogether. Now, frontline infantry often get everything by drone, from bottled water to lumber.
Дрон доставляє на позиції все, що хочеш, починаючи...
Drones are delivering it all. Water, ammo, shovels, rifles. Whatever you ask for, they'll drop it. The first time a vampire drone dropped water to me in Zaporizhia region, I walked out of the dugout, waved at it, and it dropped a bunch of bottles strapped together, hit the dugout roof. The guys inside panicked, thought the bunker was coming down, but now they even drop stretchers, tires, and meds like that. Some deliveries deserve a whole separate video, like blood for transfusions. Yes, really. They dropped off blood and all the instruments for the procedure. I did a transfusion right there in the trench. Blood transfusion in a foxhole? That's wild. But most of trench life is just survival. Comfort is not on the menu. Sleeping, eating, even bathroom stuff, we do it all inside the trench, in front of your buddies, under watchful eyes. But that's life. Everyone just wants to survive. Step out in the open and you might not come back. The goal is simple: get some warmth and a few hours of sleep. Depending on the situation, soldiers try to organize basic shelter and rest without giving themselves away. We don't toss out trash, bags, cans, anything. If the enemy sees it, they'll know we're here. We bury everything, hide all the signs. Winter is brutal out here. We've actually got a full video on how Ukrainian soldiers survive the cold. Check it out. But most assaults and trench fights happen in warmer months. One of the best documented looks at that is Oleg Sentsov's film Real, a raw, uncut 90-minute assault on enemy positions, shot in a single take. If you compare what modern infantry deal with in trench warfare today to what soldiers faced in World War I or World War II, the difference is massive. Sure, trenches may look similar, but everything underneath is different. The way you move, how you build cover, the time you've got, even the firefights. It's all evolved, and none of it got easier. Being an infantryman in 2025 is, in many ways, harder than it was 100 years ago. Back then, artillery was the biggest threat. Now it's the sky, drones, loitering munitions, thermal imaging. The danger never sleeps. Ukrainian soldiers are doing everything they can to survive these brutal conditions and still complete their missions. This kind of warfare demands total focus, and even then survival is never guaranteed. But Ukraine's infantry holds the line, and the better their trenches, the higher the chance they'll make it back home. Got a topic we should cover next? Drop your ideas in the comments. We'll go with the ones you like most.